This is part of my Ultimate Shopify tutorial series playlist linked below, or you can watch the complete 7-hour tutorial linked at the end of the video and in the description. And if you haven't already signed up for Shopify, just know that I've got a link in the description to the best current deal available for Shopify. If you've already signed up, that's perfectly fine, but if you haven't, just know that the link is down in the description below. All right, let's get into the video. What I wanted to show you first was through just some of the most important steps when we're setting up our Shopify account. Because like I said, I want to make this like 100% super beginner friendly so that the absolute beginner has no idea what they're doing, can actually get started with your own Shopify business, bring what you want to do into the world. And what I found over the years and having a look through a lot of the other ones out there and why I wanted to start making these videos was, you know, a lot of people, they make these Shopify tutorials, but they don't go through, they make it look super easy, which it is once you know what you're doing, but a lot of them don't go to the actual, like they miss out on really important steps that you need to know. And obviously I want to also go above and beyond and go into things even deeper, as we discussed, like with marketing, copywriting stuff, email marketing, and more, but I just wanted to also go over the really important stuff at the beginning. So one of the first things you want to do, so if you're going through and you have a look at our online store, and don't worry, remember we're going to be designing a really good looking one for us. So if we go through, we just look at the theme, the Dawn theme that we get given. If we go to View Store, you'll see here that, so that's what is sitting there, and that's the Dawn theme, very basic theme that you're given with. And now when we get into the section where we're actually going to show you how to design this, I'm going to be showing you how you can literally, don't need to use the Shopify builder because it's really poor, honestly. And if you go back to, you can buy themes, so I'm just going to quickly show you. So you've got all these themes here. There's some okay free themes, but they're just very basic with what you can do. And then you go to like the paid themes, and they're honestly costing, and some people recommend it, they're like, oh, just pay $200, $100 for a theme. For someone that's been designing websites for years now, I can tell you that you do not need to spend hundreds of dollars on one of those base themes, especially once I show you how to use gem pages. But getting to what I wanted to show you actually how to do, and one of the most important things is if we go to our store here, what we're going to see is that right now we've got My Shopify as our domain, and this crazy little domain here. Obviously that's not what we're going to want, and you probably already purchased your domain name if you're watching this video, most likely, but if not, I'm going to walk you through getting that for you. So a domain name essentially is, that's like your website name. So your website name, .com, .co, .store, whatever you're going to have. Domain names are really important, and you want to do them well. But you also want to obviously have your store set up on a proper domain. You don't want to be going to some random thing like this. Okay, so here's how we go through and do that. That's one of the first really important things we want to set up. So we're going to go to settings. So we go down the bottom left hand corner here, we go to settings, and then this is the back end of everything, and I'm going to step you through setting things up that are important in here as well. But the first thing I really want you guys to do is set up your domain name. Now you've got two options. I'm going to show you them. I'm not going to walk you through them both, but I'm going to show you the two of them. So first one is you can hit buy a new domain. This is if you don't have a domain yet. You could hit buy domain, and yeah, let's just say, I'm just going to make up one quickly now, Isaac Ecom official. Let's see if that's one, .com. Search for that, and it's available, and it's $16 USD. Now, obviously that's not too bad, it's pretty cheap. In Australian, that's like $25, $30. But I'm going to show you guys, honestly, I wanted to make this, you know, this video to this tutorial, that you're going to save as much money as possible, because, you know, when you're starting your own business, you know, you don't want to be spending money like endlessly when you don't need to be. You want to start as lean as possible and then scale up from there. So I'm going to walk you through how we can do this even cheaper, and honestly just a better way of doing it anyway. from my perspective. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to exit out of that, and it's taken us back. I'm just going to quickly go back to our settings again. So remember, settings down here, and then we go down to domains, and then instead of hitting by domain, we're going to go connect an existing domain. But first, we need to purchase our domain. So what I'm going to show you through here is, the reason we're going through here is I'm going to show you how you can get it even way cheaper than what Shopify will offer it to you for. Okay, and just know that Shopify will charge you a lot more in a year's time again, likely for that domain. So these guys are much better to go through, and it's not very hard to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a domain buying company. They also do hosting and everything. And this is what I've used over the years for WordPress websites, what I've used for clients, what I use for myself. And honestly, you can get pretty good hosting, but obviously we're going to be through Shopify. We don't need to worry about the hosting. But the domains, they're called Namecheap for a reason, because you get domains really cheaply. So all we want to do is we want to sign up for a Namecheap account. Now this is going to be good having your in a separate one to having it at the Shopify one. From my opinion, it's just, if anything ever happened to Shopify for whatever reason to your domain, like your website or something, at least you've still got the domain like within Namecheap, and you can figure things out from there. So that's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. This is what I think. So if you're going through here and you go to sign up in the top part up here, we're going to sign up for the account and get you guys this cheaper domain, because you're going to see how much cheaper they are in a moment. So the first thing I want to do is just sign up for an account. It's already put in some of my other ones there. So if we go to, let's just call it Isaac Ecom, that's probably going to be free. Yeah, it is. Cool. And then put in a password, another password, first name, last name, and then email address. What do we put in that one for? Okay, so then you're going to have your email address in there. Up to you whether you want to sign up for their newsletter and marketing communication. I'm going to say no. I don't need that to get enough of them in our daily life, so we're not going to sign up for that one. So we're going to go to create account and continue. So you've put your username and all your details in, create account and continue. Then it's going to ask me to verify that I'm human. So we're going to click there. Okay, so we're in, you've got an account now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to domain. We're going to go buy domains. So you can go domain list, and that's going to be where you'd see all your domains listed. Or we can just go to domain name search up here, okay? We'll click that. And then we're going to go through and we're going to buy a domain name. So let's just show you, let's just call it, let's just, for an example, ultimate, oh, if I can spell ultimate Shopify tutorial. Let's just make up, that's what I'm going to call it. I'll put ultimate Shopify tutorial search. It's going to see what comes up. ultimateshopifytutorial.com, $15.27 a year. For myself, I don't need that as a .com one, and maybe you guys don't always need it either, but still $15 for a year. That's in Australian dollars too, so USD to be even less again. So what we're going to do down here, so if you see this is why I got you guys to sign up with Namecheap. So that's what they've got there, but with newcomer, new person, you could get it for just $6.49, which is absolutely insane. You just would copy and paste that in and you could purchase it. So again, I'm not going to go .com because I'm just wasting money for something I don't need it for that. But I'm going to be purchasing at a .store, which for your case as well, you could do. It's going to be a lot cheaper, you're going to see. Or the other one is a .co. So I'll show you quickly. We click out of there. So ultimate Ultimate Shopify tutorial.co could be another option you could go. Oh, that was actually more expensive. That's surprising. Okay, but you could go .store. And .store is actually becoming more and more popular for Shopify accounts. Up to you what you want to do. What I'd suggest is you could use ChatGPT to show you how to come up with a smart name for your for your business, and find ways that you could come up with names. I'll come up with names for my businesses, or for domain names and things like that through using ChatGPT. So that can be one way that you can come up with if you're struggling with a name. These are just some quick things. Ideally, you want to go a .com. That's the most universally recognized. Next one would be .co. That's doing pretty well these days. And then, for a Shopify store, you can do .store. They're becoming ranked in Google and do well from an SEO perspective, and they're a lot cheaper. Just depending on what you want to do. Maybe you would, if you wanted to start with .store, and you could buy .com down the line, and you can easily swap it to that later down the line, or just buy .com straight away, whatever you want to do. I'm going to be buying .store today because that's all I need it for this, nice and cheap. So what we're going to do is you're going to hit add to cart, whatever domain name you've picked for yourself. You're going to pick that right now, and you can hit add to cart. So you can pause this if you need to, come back, figure out what your name's going to be through using a bit of ChatGPT. You might already know the name. Whatever you're going to do, figure it out, and then put it in here, ready to go. Okay, so you're going to hit add to cart. Okay, now all this, do not worry about it. It's pointless because you're signing up with Shopify, so you do not need to worry about all these upsells that they're trying to give you. So just hit checkout. And then small business week, there's always a quote unquote deal on. But that's a good thing about Namecheap. Like, that's insanely cheap. $1.50 is insane how cheap that is. And it's domain privacy for a year, which means and it's always free, which is good with them too. Other ones, they make you pay money. What are they going to say? Yeah, that just means that people can't figure out who you are that owns it. Because some people look that up and they want to try and send you marketing messages and all that sort of thing. So we don't need that. So we're going through here and we're going to hit confirm order for $1.50. Now remembering, if you've gone through, so I'm going to go to confirm order just so we don't get too confused, but see this promo code here, if I go back quickly, if you were given a promo code, so you'll get this .com one, I'm just going to quickly show you. I'm not going to do it because I'm not paying a .com, but see this, $6.49 for that. So for newcomer, so a new account, you could go to add to cart. I'm just going to pretend I'm doing it. Again, I'm not going to be doing this because it's wasting my money. I don't need to for this tutorial, but I'm going to show you. So you could put that in. It's at $17 at the moment because it's trying to do the .store and the .com. Like, I'm purchasing both of them. I'm just going to get rid of that one for now just to show you. So they've got .com, $15.15. Now, if I put in the newcomer, $6.49, hit apply. You got that down to $10.71. Okay, so that's in Australian dollars. I'm pretty sure they've changed that to in AUD. So when it's the exchange rate and everything, but for $6.49 in US dollars, if that's you from America or wherever you're else, that's still in crazily cheap for a .com. And then you just hit confirm order and go through it. But again, I'm going to be doing a .store domain. So back to here, we're going to be going through and signing, purchasing our domain. So we're going to go hit confirm order, and then you're going to put in all your details here. Okay, so you're going to go there, hit continue, and then you're going to hit pay now. Once you're ready to rock and roll, pay now, a whole $1.16, which I think Australian is like $2 or something, or close to $2. Absolute bargain. You know, cheap as chips these day and age. That's cheaper than chips. Okay, so it's not just cheap as chips, it's cheaper than chips here, which is really good stuff. So we're going to hit pay now. Awesome. So there you go. You've just purchased your domain name. Exciting as hell. All ready to go. There's not too much more we need to do within Namecheap, but congratulations. That is the first step you have made towards your future, towards your business, towards starting up what you've come here, or the reason you're watching this tutorial, to start up. You've already done something that, you know, most people wouldn't even do, which is purchase their own domain name and moving towards actually setting this up. So pat yourself on the back. Small win like that, that's a good step forward, your first step of many moving forward. All right, so I just want to give you that little pat on the back, because well done. I know it might seem tiny, but giving yourself these small little wins along the way is how you sustain yourself with, you know, starting up and doing your own thing that you're doing now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we've got that all ready to go. You can check in your, you know, like you would have got an email about it now to go through and confirm it. You can check that if you want to, but what we want to do now is go back to our domains on Shopify. Now that we've got this, I'm going to go connect existing domain, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put in your domain name. So you can just copy and paste it in there, or type it in there, whatever you did. Now you would have just seen from your end, you would have seen me purchasing Ultimate Shopify Tutorial.store. I went through that whole process, purchased it, was recording it, and showed, like, putting it in here, connected it, and then Shopify told me that you're not allowed at all to have the word Shopify in any domain name for you setting up for your website. Yeah, I had never encountered that, but I didn't know that that was a thing, but it makes sense to me that I can't have the word Shopify in my domain name, so I had to backtrack, you know, like it was only $1.50 wasted, so even because I don't know if how to use that domain, but we're back again. So I've got this domain now, and now you're going to put in whatever yours is here. So you're going to put in whatever yours is. I'm putting in Isaac Ecom Tutorial.store, and then you're just going to hit next. Okay, so what's going to have to happen now is you're going to have these given to you. So these are the domain records, DNS records, and I'm going to show you through. You just have to put these in. Don't worry, it's super simple. You got me here walking you through it, and we're going to set these up so that you can do it. So the easiest way is to actually just click this one here. So we're going to hit DNS management, and that's going to take you to exactly where you need to go for your domain. So you're going to pick your domain, make sure there's only going to be one there for you, but you're going to pick this one, and then you're going to go to here, and then you're going to hit manage, and then we're going to go down to, we've got all this here, and then we're going to go, don't worry about all this, just go to advanced DNS, and then see you've got the CNAME records here. What we need to go through and do is put in our CNAME records. So what we want to do here is we want to go first an A name record. So it says type A at current values empty. We'll leave that empty, and then we put update to this. So we're going to copy that. I'm going to copy that code. I'm going to go type record back to here, back to our advanced DNA records, and we're going to go to add new record, and then we're going to hit a record, and then we're going to hit at is the host, so host is at, and then we're just going to put IP address. We're going to copy and paste what we had there, and then we're going to hit the tick, save changes. Easy as that. We've all copied and pasted over the years, so we know what we're doing here. It's not too difficult. Okay, so we've done that one there. And then the next one we're going to do is we need the CNAME record. So we're going to go a CNAME and then a name. So the thing is going to be at www, and then do the Shopify one here. So we're going to copy that one, and then remember where we put the at, this time we'll put in www. So we're going to go again, we're going to go to add new record, and then we're going to hit CNAME record, and then we're going to hit host is www, and the target is the thing we copied and pasted with shops.myshopify.com. Hit OK. Okay, so we've done that. We're both in there. We're going to go back to here. We're going to say I've updated my DNS records. Say yes. Okay, so we've put in our domain name, and now what it's doing is it's checking. It's checking the DNS that we just put in there. Now, most of the time, this should be instant, within a few seconds to maybe a minute or two. At the moment, mine's actually stuck. It just keeps checking. So this could happen to you guys if you've done, you've gone through and you're purchasing the domain name on the exact same time as you're trying to integrate it. What can happen is that sometimes it can take time for the DNS record to actually propagate across the internet. So they say it could be 28 to 48 hours. I've never had it take that long, which is why I'm a bit surprised mine's not doing it instantly, because I've done it instantly in the past. But it's just different, sometimes different depending on the domain name you purchased and the extension like .store. Sometimes it can take longer to propagate on the internet, and that's one of those cases here. So if you've already purchased your domain name and you're just going through this section and you're just setting up putting in to connect your domain name. If you've purchased it a week ago, a few weeks ago, a month ago, like even a lot of time, a few hours ago, you shouldn't be waiting here. But I'm just letting you know, if it ends up you have to wait, it might just mean that you can't make it the domain name, you can't sync it up just yet. You're gonna have to wait a day or two at most. You never should have to wait that long, but usually a few hours, and then come back and do this section. But the good thing is, you don't need your website set up for the domain or anything in order to be able to start building it out. So if this has happened to you, that you've ended up where it's stuck just forever trying to connect the DNS, don't worry, breathe, it's fine, it'll be all good. You're just going to have to come back to it and hit update them again in maybe a few hours or a day's time, but that doesn't mean you can't keep going through this tutorial. You could build out your entire website for this whole tutorial, and then at the end of it you could make the domain name officially on the domain name, which would be even, so for some people you might make that feel like the final bow to tie it off. So don't worry if this has happened to you, I'm just letting you know that could be a potential. Okay, so either you're going to have, right now you're going to have your domain name ready to rock and roll, or you're going to have to wait a bit of time. Regardless, you will have, that's all you need to do to set up your domain name. Should be ready to rock and roll, and you'll get that ready to go for your website. Okay. Okay, so I've gone back after putting in my DNS. I waited about a bit of time. For me, it was around 30 minutes to half an hour. And now, when I went back in to officially make my domain name my official one, I was able to get it to check it again. And look at that, we're all synced up. So if that happened for you, again, remember, you can just come back half an hour to an hour, usually within that time, maybe in very rare cases, 24 to 48 hours. Remembering, you can still follow this whole tutorial, you can build out your whole website, and then just come back and do this. You can just routinely check it, because it's not going to change the structure of your website or anything. It's just the domain name, which is obviously very important, but you should be able to do it after you've waited a bit of time. And then once you've done that, you can go through and you're going to have your own custom domain. So once that's accepted, you're going to come back to your homepage here. I'm just going to show you what it'll be like now. So if we go to online store again, remember this is where we go to see the back end of our store, our design perspective of it. And then we just go to view and we hit here, and you'll see now it's official. We've got my own domain name up there, which feels awesome. You know, congrats if you've got to this step and it's working for you now. You've officially got your own domain name. I remember the first time I had that and had it web live, like in my website live, I was like, whoa, felt amazing. So pat yourself on the back, you've done that. And if you're still waiting, that's okay. Remember, you can still build out your whole website. Just routinely go back to the section that we showed you in the settings, domains, and check your domain verification, whether it's been updated and ready to go. And as soon as it is, you'll have your store updated to your proper domain name. And if you've forgotten any of that, how to do that, just backtrack in the tutorial, and I've shown you through how to do that again. Okay, cool. So there is our domain name now set up, which is awesome. All right, that's it for this video. So if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and either check out the full tutorial or the series linked below, plus my free Shopify launch pack that's linked in the description as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.